All right, let's just jump right into it. Because today, wow, it is a huge day in the world of fintech. I mean, it is Fintech Friday, and the vibes are definitely big stage. You can just feel it, right? We're talking IPOs, we're talking AI-powered payments, and huge global expansion plans, all hitting at the same time. So, to make sense of all of this, we're going to frame today's news kind of like a massive music festival. You've got your headliner, right? That's Klarna, making this epic comeback to the public markets. Then you've got the surprise feature act, an established giant, Mastercard, showing us what's next. And to round it out, the main stage debut from a rising star, Revolut, that's ready for its big moment. So first up, let's talk about that headliner that, honestly, everyone's been waiting for, Klarna. And wow, they have just smashed their long-awaited New York debut. We're looking at a valuation somewhere in the ballpark of $15 to $20 billion. I mean, that's a massive number, and it's already setting a completely new tone for the market. So let's break that down. The IPO priced at $40 a share, and they raised about $1.37 billion. And just like that, boom, it's the largest fintech listing of the year. This really sets a whole new benchmark for their competitors, like Affirm and Block's Afterpay. So why is this IPO such a big deal? Well, it's basically proof that we've moved way past the crazy hype cycle of 2021. The game has totally changed. The market isn't just throwing money at growth at all costs anymore. Nope. Now the focus is all on profitability, discipline in underwriting, and having a solid, durable distribution model. You could say this is buy now, pay later 2.0. And Klarna, well, they definitely brought the receipts. Yep, I love this comparison. It's basically the equivalent of a surprise album drop that doesn't flop. Klarna really proved they weren't just some one-hit wonder from the hype days. They came back strong with a sustainable, profitable model, and the public markets are absolutely rewarding them for it. It is a certified hit for sure. So what's the big takeaway here? The bottom line from Klarna's debut is this. The IPO window, it's officially back open. But, and this is a big but, there's a catch. It's only open for the high-quality fintechs, the ones who can actually prove they're profitable. And that is a huge, huge signal for the entire industry. All right, moving on. Let's get to our surprise feature act of the day. It's an established giant, Mastercard, and they are giving us a really clear look at what the future of payments is actually going to look like. So they've just rolled out this new suite of tools for something called agentic commerce. And you might be asking, what on earth is that? Well, put simply, it's about using AI agents to do your shopping for you. I'm talking about making purchases, handling all the authentication, and basically paying on your behalf. Okay, to make this feel a bit more real, let's walk through a super simple example. Let's say you tell your AI assistant, hey, order me a pizza. So your AI agent goes and orders it. Then, this is the cool part, Mastercard's Agent Pay steps in to authenticate that it was actually your AI making the request, not some random bot. And finally, the core Mastercard network does its thing and secures the whole transaction. It's seamless and it's completely autonomous. And look, this is so much more than just a cool new feature. This is about building the fundamental infrastructure for the future. By baking this directly into their network, Mastercard is essentially creating the foundational rails for this whole new era of commerce. And they're making sure that we can actually, trust our AI agents with our money. Here's a good way to think about it. It's kind of like hiring the perfect personal assistant. One who actually knows your order, pays the bill correctly every single time, and just never messes up. That's the really powerful value proposition here. So the big takeaway, Mastercard is playing the long game here for sure. They are positioning themselves to be the central control plane for all of this AI-driven commerce. They're making sure that as transactions become more and more autonomous, the trust and, let's be honest, the revenue still flows right through them. And that brings us to our final act for today. It's the rising star that's getting ready for its own main stage debut, Revolut. I mean, Revolut is already a global powerhouse, right? We're talking over 40 million customers. But now, it looks like they're pushing for even more scale. So what's their immediate goal? A full-scale launch in the United Arab Emirates. Think about it. A high-income, super tech-savvy market. It is a perfect fit for their whole global super app strategy. And they just got the key to unlock it. You could call it their regulatory wristband. Basically, it's an in-principle approval from the Central Bank of the UAE. Now, it's not a full launch just yet, but it's that essential VIP pass they need to get in the door and get started. With IPO rumors constantly swirling around Revolut, this move is just strategically brilliant. Getting these kinds of regulatory green lights, it builds massive credibility. And even more importantly, it proves to potential investors that they have a clear path to scale way beyond their home turf in Europe. So, what's the takeaway? This really reveals Revolut's strategy in plain sight. It is a classic growth play. They are focused on building that global distribution first because they know that a higher valuation is going to follow. Okay, so let's zoom out and tie all three of these stories together. What does this massive FinTech Friday really mean for the entire industry? So let's recap the whole show. First, you had Klarna, our headliner, basically rebooting the public markets with a sharp focus on profit. Then you had Mastercard, hardening the rails for an autonomous, agentic future. And finally, Revolut, showing credible expansion momentum right before a potential IPO. I mean, these are three huge moves that are all shaping the future of finance right now. When you put it all together, from market validations to new AI infrastructure, everything is pointing towards a world of more automated finance. And that leaves us with a pretty crucial question, one for you to think about. As our transactions go fully autonomous, who are we going to trust to manage our money? Something to chew on. Thanks for joining me.